Today is Friday, September the 22nd, 2023, and welcome to episode 62 of Reliance with the Canny Couple. I'm Julia.
And I'm Aaron.
And we are a small homestead family in rural Southwest Virginia that works every single day on being more self-reliant and less dependent on outside sources. We're talking from everything from our food to our electricity to also having financial freedom. And
with homesteading, and our frugal ways comes our frugal homestead tactics.
Yes. This is how we try to merge frugality in our everyday life and how we share with you every single month what we're doing this month to save money, what we plan on doing next month to save money, where we failed.
Yeah.
Because we're not perfect. We're humans, and it is what it is.
Right. Some of our goals are not met, or something might come up that changes, what we expected.
So, economy, everybody's getting worried. Everything keeps getting crazier. Everything keeps changing.
Yes.
If you watched our last video, you will see how we threw out some statistics, especially the food prices. The food prices is the one that
is one of the scariest right now, because
everybody has to have it.
Right. It's up, food prices, 19.6% since, I was looking down here, since February of 2021. So almost, 20% our grocery prices have increased.
That's 20 cents on the dollar.
Yeah, in 2.5 years.
That's a 20% increase in what you would normally pay. So if your budget was $400 and to eat the same amount of food you were eating before, that's an extra $100. Did I do that math right?
I wasn't checking your math, but
we'll go with it.
So.
I hope my math is right. I'm pretty sure it is. But yeah, so cost keeps going up. It affects everybody. And inflation is a scary thing. The state of the economy can be a scary thing. A lot of people might own their homes. A lot of people might be trying to pay off their homes, trying to get to debt-free living.
Right. Renting right now
renting is crazy.
Increasing as well.
So you might not feel those costs, but you might see costs in your electric bill, your utilities, your water bill, all the other things. You might actually see those costs pass through to you. We see it with our electric bill. Every few months they're throwing a new increase at
us. We're still waiting to hear if the new rate increase that they are trying to put in will go into effect, which was another, they tried to put 2 in, so it could be another $30 a month if somebody uses 1,000 kilowatt hours.
And we have no choice. We have one company to go to.
Yep.
We don't have multiples. There's one company. It's a monopoly. It's kind of like our phone. We have one place.
And our internet.
And our internet. One place to go. There's no one else.
Unless we, looked up in the stars, and, signed up for that one.
It's not came to our, has it came to our area yet?
It's available, but,
It's an option, but it's new. It's a new option, and we've not heard of anybody in our area actually having it, have we?
The school systems.
The school systems?
Yeah, because it was one of the trial ones in the area, because there were so many, remember, there were so many rural kids that couldn't access internet during,
I remember that now. I do.
During that time.
But our neighbors don't have it.
No.
Our neighbors probably don't know what it is.
No.
So we're kind of in that kind of holding phase where we're sort of in the middle of a whole bunch of monopolies for us. Yeah. And it really has to have us reevaluate in different ways. So if you live in an area like us where you don't have many choices, we have had to get very creative in finding ways to save money in these types of places. And that's really why we like this segment of our podcast so much.
Yeah. I mean, we get to talk about, what's working, what's not working.
And we have to think.
What we're brainstorming on.
Yeah, we have to think. We have to be creative. We have to kind of look like, okay, well, what can we do this month to save money? And it really opens up our creativity, really helps us kind of think outside the box to find new ways. Now, you hear us talk a lot about some of the same things because these are areas that we're really focused on, and we're trying to get our consumption down as low as we can within our means. And they're still important.
Yeah.
So, the goal is to get to debt-free living, get our debt paid off. 100%. And
hopefully by the end of December.
Hopefully by the end of December. That is the goal. We are hoping to get there. We will be very close. If not, we will be extremely close.
We could be. It's whether we wait to January or so,
So, what have we done this year?
This year or this month?
This month. This year. This year. What have we done this year? We've done a lot this year. What have we done this month?
You've done a lot of food preservation.
I have.
I mean, a ton of food preservation. To the point where I wonder if you're going to be able to make it from day to day.
So, I would say with the amount of pear products I have gotten, and that's not including one of the products.
So yeah, let's talk about the pears. So we actually did buy the pears.
We did.
So this isn't something we did grow. Well, we have some pear trees, but not producing pear trees. So these were $48 a bushel, and we got 2 bushel.
Yes, and I made the most of those 2 bushels.
Yeah.
I did. So I ended up with 39 quart jars of pears purely for eating, just canned pears. I ended up with 12 half pints and 3/4 of a quart, because that was what I had clean at the time, of pear butter that I had started a few days before in the crock pot. I ended up with 5 quarts of pear sauce, which was amazing. It was very good. And then I ended up with 19 pints of pear jelly. And we also ended up with pear vinegar.
A gallon.
A gallon. Right now it would probably be a half a gallon after we take the pear out of it in a couple of weeks. This one I did have enough mother to actually put into it, so it would get that kick start and really start to work. But yeah, and not including the vinegar. If we would have bought these things at our prices at less than what we would normally pay, because we've not seen pears at $1 in 2 years.
Probably.
In 2 years. I love pears. It's my favorite fruit of all time. I've always loved pears, but we don't buy them very often because they're so expensive here.
Right. It's one of those things that you've definitely seen the increase in food price on.
I mean, when you go to canned fruit, and a lot of people say, no, you still get them for $1. In your area, yes. In our area, no, you cannot. $1.29 is the sale price.
Yeah.
Like, that was the last time I saw it on sale. It was $1.29, and there was none left when we got to the store, because that's as cheap as you can get. Right now, it's $2. That's the normal price, over $2 or more. So if I would, not including the vinegar, if I had bought all this stuff at before inflation prices, what I would have paid for it before, it would have been around $150. I'm taking in my pectin and everything else I did to $120 with everything, so I feel like I got $30. And everybody's going to say, well, your time. I don't really find my time. I mean, it was a lot of work, but it was well worth it for what I ended up with. And the sense of pride I get, I'm okay with. So, yes, I took my time. I would have used that time to preserve something else. This is just something that I demanded to have this year.
Yep. And they got in a very small shipment that we had to go, quickly to get.
That day. And then I started processing them immediately. And that's what actually saved me some time. And I was able to make the absolute most of them.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the video from earlier, that one would have been last weekend. If you hadn't seen that video of, steps that she took to make it easier on her, during this time, you go check that one out.
So we really pushed that out. Now, if I include the vinegar, pear vinegar is like $2 to $3 an ounce. An ounce. I've got at least a half gallon. That's 64 ounces. So that's a lot. That's a lot. So I feel like I did really well. A lot of people might disagree with me, but I'm extremely happy with what I got. Also, my first time using the Pomona's pectin with the low sugar option. I'm really happy with that. It was a good test for me because I'm getting ready to make grape jelly here in the next couple of weeks or so. And gooseberry jelly with that Pomona's pectin, and it's going to be wonderful. It's going to be fantastic. So I feel like we've done really well. Not only have we been preserving this, we're still working through all of our squash and zucchini that we had put up in the freezer. I'm still harvesting tomatoes. Now, I was actually just asked this question from a family friend. How are you still harvesting tomatoes right now? Well, so what happened was I started all my tomatoes in February, if you saw those videos. It worked really well. They did really great. But I had some I wasn't actually able to plant until, June? When they got done with the bathroom?
Yeah.
Till June.
Yeah.
They survived in the pots. I've done this before. I've had the plant, and they kind of get stagnant inside of the pot. You stick them in the ground when you can. Just keep them alive. They'll go. And you'll have tomatoes later in the year. Now, if you're worried about a frost, go grab the green tomatoes. They will ripen in the house. We did this last year. We had like several, probably what would you say, 5 to 10 quarts just from the green tomatoes?
I would say so.
We had several quarts just from the green tomatoes that we brought in the house, and I slowly processed them. We would check them every 2 days. I would pull out the ones that were red, the ones that were going to raw. I will say if they're green, you do have a greater chance of them going to raw in the house versus if you're leaving them on the vine. But if it's going to frost, you're going to lose them anyways.
You might as well pull them.
Pull them. So we pulled them. It worked out really well. And we're still getting those tomatoes. Peppers have came in like gangbusters.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to do an update.
Yeah, you should see how many cayennes we have coming in right now. We've got so many.
And then we have these big old green peppers that turn red. I don't know what they are.
I think they're a variety of cayennes that I got because I had like 2 or 3.
What we don't have a lot of are banana peppers.
No.
But the jalapenos are coming out really good. Mm-hmm. So we're getting ready to do some garlic and honey and peppers.
Maybe even a little horseradish.
Nah, I would just...
I like how you said no on that.
This is I need to be able to eat this. So we've been preserving. We've been using as well. We also have all of our winter squash we pull. We've got it curing. Mm-hmm. Aaron dug up all of our potatoes. I would say we probably have at least 200 pounds of potatoes.
Probably.
At least. And we'll start getting those processed.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a lot more food preservation if we're talking about what we're doing coming up. It's more food preservation.
It is, and these will feed us throughout the winter and the early spring. Like we eat these. We don't eat potatoes every day, but sometimes we'll have potato soup. That will be our dinner or our lunch. One of those two. I might make Aaron a potato salad, and using those frozen potatoes, he's told me he can't really tell the difference.
I'm looking forward to potato salad.
I already have the relish made.
Am I getting that next week?
No, not next week. We don't have time. We've got too much to do. You're going to have to wait. It'll probably be Thanksgiving.
What?
So we have the relish that we made from cucumbers, where we had so many cucumbers, pickles. But yeah, the potatoes, we will use those up. We'll show you how I make hash browns when I start to make those. Works out so well for us.
Yeah.
And they're so good. Best frozen hash browns. And they're so, the easiness of making these hash browns makes it crazy to go through it any other way. This method has worked out for us so well.
We've been doing this for years.
I will say I just have like one tip. Don't do this, because I found out the hard way. You don't want to do this, and you'll have to watch that video to see what it is. But we're preserving our squash, we're eating it, and we're really trying to use up what we have. We're also using up a lot of what we have in the pantry already.
Yeah, and a lot of that is because sale prices.
Yeah.
There hasn't been hardly anything, in ads from a sale perspective. We've been getting very few items, so our grocery budget has been lower.
It has.
But, we would like it to be a little bit more just from a stockpiling perspective.
And we're also looking at like what we're getting. We're making sure that what we are getting are the foods that we want to have going forward.
Yeah.
We have had a few stockpiling items that are things like We've mentioned Pop-Tarts. No, they're not supernatural. No, they're not like the best food for you, but we're getting close to winter for us. We're at that stage where I have this urge and need to make sure we have food that we can go ahead and eat with no work involved at all. And it makes me feel better to have these cheap Pop-Tarts in the cabinet. And we don't eat them every day. We don't eat them like every other day. So having them on hand just makes me feel better about the upcoming winter, because I need to have something on hand to feed us if I can't get something cooked or I can't get to something easily. So we have had a few of these things when they do pop up on sale, we kind of try to grab. We had one day where we had a really good sale of stuff, but for the most part it's just been here or there.
Yeah, and today's sales are not what we're looking for.
I'm having a hard time adjusting to this.
Right. We are looking at
what we used to pay.
Pre-times, those sale prices. It's very hard for us to consider anything that is current today's prices or current today's sales prices something we're actually going to pay for.
And it's something I'm going to have to shift myself.
Maybe another years too.
It's a struggle. Some of these things I've really struggled with. Now there are certain things I could still get at similar prices to what we used to pay. I'm just not buying them. Pasta sauce. This week we decided we were going to have something a little different. I made chicken marinara for dinner, and Aaron's like, well, what do you need? Do you need sauce? I'm like, well, why can't I just make it? I have all this stuff, and it has been amazing.
It's been really good.
It's been better than anything else we've had. It's better than the pasta sauce we used to get out of the can. So this is probably the way we're going to go going forward.
Yeah.
So there's 88 cents I saved by using my own tomatoes that we can.
88 cents pre-price.
Well, no, it was
did we get it 88 cents?
Yeah, that was 88 cents. Yeah, we would get them on the 12 for 10, and you get 12 items for $10. And I would before you used to get them for 69 cents. That was probably the cheapest we ever got them, but we would really stock up back then. So, food, we've been doing a really good job on. Really hyper focused on food. Really watching our dollars, really watching how we're spending, and making sure we're trying to make sure we're using what we have. I will say we kind of slacked on this because a lot of these things need to be eaten fresh. I'm not the one that eats them fresh. And he forgets about them.
If it's not put on my plate, I'm having trouble keeping up with stuff.
And I'm having trouble remembering to put it on his plate.
Yeah.
That's
just
kind
so
of where
much
we
going
are
on right now.
But we're still trying to make sure we're getting as much into the freezer for preservation as we can, and trying to work through the things as much as we can, like as fast as we can when we're finding the time. We're not getting the huge harvest we were.
No, I mean, like today she said she's going to send me back outside, because I didn't
bring enough.
I didn't have anything in a bucket when I came back in. There might have been a couple of more winter squash I could have pulled today, but I thought I'd wait till tomorrow, Saturday, to ask you if you thought on those two.
I do know we have some we have to cut out of the fence, and if this weekend's kind of cool, we'll turn on the oven, start working through potatoes, and also get those winter squash in there to puree. And because they'll have to be cooked immediately. It's not one that can wait since I have to cut it out. It is what it is. So we'll go through those. The other thing we've done is we've worked on a lot of projects. We have been going through a lot of projects, knocking a lot of stuff off the list.
A lot of it is getting the house back to normal, but
a new normal.
A new normal. But at the same time, it's stuff we're not spending any money on, or we've already have, or repurposing,
or we've bought in stages, kind of like the paint for Isabel's furniture. If you haven't seen that video, we bought that before, so we already had it on hand. We didn't have a huge upfront cost for this because we bought it in pieces. So, and that's the other thing, we're repurposing, we're reusing. We could have bought her new furniture would have cost us thousands of dollars. And this furniture looks beautiful in her room, and she's loving it because she stacks all her toys on her desk, and you just see this line
of Legos and blocks.
And she just thinks it's the greatest thing ever. And we can also have it set up so she's fully childproof, and we can have music playing for her all the time. So that's been really, really good for her. She enjoys it quite a bit.
Yeah.
So we're reusing, we're repurposing everything that we can. Even one of the things we're doing, we have an old sewing table that I'm reinventing into something new. I was going to purchase a piece of furniture. It's made specifically for this. Well, I was like, okay, well, why can't I take this table and use it for it? And it's not too big. It fits good in the space I was going to put that other piece of furniture in. And I have it. Now I just have to buy something that's much cheaper, like $30-$40 versus $200 to $300.
Yeah.
So really looking at the spaces we need to add things, and how do we reimagine and repurpose.
Yeah. Repurposing has been a lot of our focus lately.
And really making the most out of everything that we have has been a really big thing. Now, we do have a few things we have to purchase. Got to get a hall tree for our entryway into our kitchen. Like, that is not negotiable.
Yeah, I need some place to hang up stuff.
He needs a place to put, he needs a landing pad. He needs a landing pad, and he needs a place to put his shoes. Yep. Like, that is the thing. And it's just not negotiable. It is not. I can't. It's a place that causes me so much stress. While we've been working on all these projects, we also have not went on vacation. We did take a day trip.
I mean, we spent a little, but
not enough.
We bought some more canning jars, stuff we were needing for the homestead.
A roaster.
Anyway.
I got a roaster for $50, an 18-quart roaster for $50. We were just talking about this. I said, I think I need a roaster. I'm getting ready to start making broths for canning and all of this other stuff. And we were looking at them. I was looking at a 22 or bigger, but then I saw a 50 for clearance for $40-some. And I was like, I think we need to get it here. 18 quarts is big enough for us.
Yeah.
18 quarts is plenty big enough for us. It did not make sense. So we ended up with basic homesteading needs and a big stuffed pig for the baby. That she picked out. Like, that's what it was, a huge stuffed pig.
Under $10.
Under $10. But yeah, we were very careful. I did end up with some pots on clearance. I'm very picky when it comes to things that are in my house, and I kill Aaron when it's time for me to buy pots for plants, because it takes me forever to make a decision.
I thought you were talking about the cooking pots. You're talking about the plant pots.
I'm talking about the planting pots. Yeah, it does. It takes me forever. But we found these. They were really good price, and they're things I can live with.
They were on clearance.
They were on clearance. They were like $5.
Yeah.
And they're tall and, ceramics. They don't look bad at all.
They didn't look bad. Mm-mm.
So I was really happy with that. And that worked out well for us. And just small things here or there. Did get a Duluth shirt for $3.
Yeah. Yep.
It's kind of nice at a place. So,
just some, random things like that, and still keeping within our budget, and
watching our pennies and dollars, not getting anything like that we felt like we need but don't really need. We were really careful about that this time.
We had to have some more jars for, we thought we might be cutting it close on the peaches.
Pears.
Gosh, I keep saying peaches.
I know, I do too. I kept saying it while I was processing them. So we went on a day trip, saved a lot of money not going on vacation this year. It was a conscious decision. We do have a vacation fund, and we'll continue to add money to that. And hopefully next year we can take some camping trips when it's a lot calmer, quieter, and things sort of settle down for us. And things aren't quite as busy. It feels like this year has been kind of crazy busy, and the house remodel sort of added to that pressure quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it's like we haven't gotten that to slow down yet. It's like it's added and it's stayed and it keeps staying and weighing on us. So we're trying to get it off.
Yeah.
Whatever we need to do to get that pressure off. Our energy usage, we've been maintaining or keeping that down?
Yeah, we've actually had it down a lot more here recently because it's been cooler. We've been using the windows. We ain't been having to run any AC, just using fans. So we do...
Not even me using the fans, or the ceiling fans.
So we do expect this month, from looking at our energy usage, to definitely be lower than last month. So that's a plus. At the same time, for next month, I know you heard me talk about getting the solar up and going to reduce our energy costs some more. That didn't happen over the week off. Everything sort of needed another part or two.
Kind of blew up.
Yes, put us behind schedule on everything else. So the goal is to have that up and running here very soon to reduce some more of our energy consumption there.
And clothes. We've been washing so many clothes. We have gotten out of storage.
Yeah, I mean, you can consider, we're washing clothes, which will bring maybe our energy up some, but we are using the energy efficient one. But these are clothes that had to be washed that were in storage, but everything that we're washing, we're hanging it up to dry. There is no, we don't even know if we have an old dryer downstairs. We don't even think it probably even works. So
I would be scared to plug it in.
I would too, actually.
And we've, what would you say, 2016 was when you unplugged it?
Maybe so.
It had to be. This was when I moved in.
I just don't want to. It's in the basement. Definitely don't want to carry it up. I know we're gonna have to sometime.
We need to get the space because it takes up quite a bit of room, and we can use that space for something else that makes better sense for us. But
hey, if anybody wants to, have a dryer for free, that wants to take it up out the steps, stop on by and we'll.
I'll call my daddy. He'd
Hope
push
he ain't listening.
Oh, Lordy. But no, hanging up all the clothes and I really haven't seen our energy usage go up with as much laundry as we have been doing.
No.
That thing uses it really low. We're also, the amount of laundry detergent I'm using, you could barely tell I've used it. The cycle we do is we always wash on cold. I've never washed on hot, ever. No. Never. We do, it's 1, 2, and 3. So it's cold, 2 rinses, and 3 turns or something like that. But that's all we do. And it's the lowest setting we can get it. And we keep it on that setting every time. It takes an hour at max. Mm-hmm. And the only other cycle we ever run this thing on, we've done the speed wash once or twice. But typically, if we're going to even wash a load again in the morning, we'll do it like even at the normal cycle. Yeah. I still don't think it takes as long as it says it does. Mm-mm. Even the dishes when we wash those, we don't see even at over 2 hours, we don't see a huge bump increase in our energy usage because we're using these energy efficient cycles. And we're not using a lot of product because we don't need to use a lot of product. And I'm not seeing a difference. I can't tell. There's no smells. There's nothing different. We're just using a lot less. And I'm always pushing how little can I use? How little can I get away with? I love this feeling of making something go further and further and further. It makes me feel so good to know I've stretched even the pennies a little bit more.
Yeah. What are you all doing right now, to stretch your pennies?
We'd love to know.
Yeah. Make sure to put that down below in comments if you're on YouTube, or if you want to send us an email to thecannycouple@yahoo.com. Make sure you do that. So
the other thing we've been doing to really help has been to be hyper-focused on the budget. And this is awareness.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it is to, because of trying to get the debt-free part. But we do have some lifestyle changes we're probably going to have, coming soon that this is helping prepare us for.
Absolutely. So we're trying to get prepared for things that we know are coming or we hope are coming trying to get ready for these things as they come through, and really trying to adjust and shift our thinking. Like, how can I change this? What changes can we start to make now or get ready for now? And we're just really trying to kind of shift our focus and work towards saving as much money as possible, and paying off our debt as quick as possible. And we've been doing very well. We're hitting the number we want to hit consistently every month. And I feel really good about that. We've been hitting that number every single month. And we're just continuously pushing, just as hard as we can.
We're
push. But
we're holding up, but it's been rough.
It's not really. It's just the amount of work we're doing between the day to day and everything else. That's kind of where we're sort of a little bit at our breaking points, our limits. Especially, I would say for me, because there's so much I still have left to do.
Preservation left to do.
I mean, I've not even gotten to the heart of it.
Yeah.
Nowhere near the heart of it. Like, I'll start these potatoes here this weekend. I won't make a dent. This is going to be a multiple week process for me. And luckily for us, the way we designed our porch, our carport in this screened-in area, this has really, really worked to our advantage. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you, like, this was the thing that if we couldn't make it, this was coming off the list. But it's probably been the thing that's been more helpful than anything else we've done on the homestead. I mean, I would say it's been one of the best things we've done.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
It has given us so much extra, like, it has...
Storage location, and we can keep stuff from getting sun there.
Keep my potatoes from turning green because they're not exposed to the sunlight, but it gets perfect airflow. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's constantly gets the airflow from one side to the other. It's worked out so well for us. Oh, yeah. And it's just really helped. But yeah, we are a bit at our breaking point, but we will get through.
Yep.
We will. We have to, because as soon as this debt is paid off, we will feel so much better, and we will know it has all been worth it. So, what did we do wrong this month? We had a few failures. I would say your solar.
Solar was one this month, not getting it set up. Another one was we've been buying we've had to buy a few extra pieces and parts for projects because what we got didn't work. So, for example,
my island.
We returned the island, putting rollers on the bottom of it.
They were about 4 inches short.
Yes, so we had to get new rollers for that. We're not going to return the rollers that we had. I know
we'll use them somewhere else.
Right, because we're going to have another project.
That we'll be able to put these on without a problem. Right. I mean, I can just see me putting them on something in my carport area on the other side, like the outside, if we have like a bench or some sort of a shelving system between the two doors that I can move as needed, or a table, something that helps make life a little bit easier. But yeah, we were short. Yeah. Oh, we were way short. There was no way they were going to fit.
Yeah, and we talked about, adding a piece of wood or two on, but then we thought it was going to lose its, its structural integrity on it. So we were like, not on that. And then the other one is you wrote it on the bag somewhere.
I did.
Yes, you did. I told you did. When we
I don't remember this at
when
all.
we put our kitchen table in the garage, it had screws that went into it. We cannot find those screws. We don't know where we put them, or where they're at. Even when her dad was over the other day, he said, "I remember telling you, you better put these somewhere we don't forget." I said, "Yeah, we put them somewhere, but we don't remember where that was." So we've lost those. So I thought I had the right size. I took, a screw that looked like it would work. Went to Lowe's, and of course, it's either short or it wasn't thick enough. So that's why I'm going to Home Depot, because they have these neat little things that you can take a screw that you think will work, and it will tell you exactly what size that is. So we'll have to do that this weekend. So we bought a few extra different sizes of screws. Probably about $20 worth of screws is what I paid.
They're expensive. I don't know, but screws have gotten so because these aren't your basic like wood screws we would normally go and get at Rural King, which work really well for us. We use them everywhere. They didn't work in that. And they didn't work in that. We tried everything. Aaron was going through everything he could find. But yeah, so we have our kitchen table. So we're going to spend about
$25 probably by the time it's all over on screws just to get the kitchen table back together.
Yep.
I mean, we'll use those other screws somewhere, guaranteed, on one of the other projects. It's just the principle of that's $25 that
we didn't need to spend.
We didn't need to spend, right?
We didn't need to spend. But
if we could find screws.
We have no idea.
If we can find the screws before tomorrow, we can save $5.
It's not likely. We've looked everywhere. They're everywhere we thought we could find them. So we've had some fails. And we know this. We've spent some money where we didn't need to. We spent some extra dollars we didn't need to. There was another one for baby proofing. I didn't even think this was a problem. So we got some door handle things. And
I forgot about those.
Yeah, and I bought them because we have certain rooms that, as she keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, she can't open them now, but she's going to be able to soon because she's a little tall thing. For small,
and gets into everything
if she tries, but she's determined. So I got these and I went to go put one on and I was like, it's turning. It's not supposed to turn. What's wrong with this? Well, the doorknobs I picked out, I love them. They're wider and they're so wide that the childproof doorknob holders don't actually work like childproof doorknob holders.
It's just like a cover to turn.
Yeah. So that was a bust, and we've got to do something else to keep her out of those few closets we don't want her in.
And that there was something that we'd bought way too long ago.
In anticipation that we were going to need them, because we have 4 doors we need to make sure that can't get open.
So it wasn't able to return right now type of thing.
I mean, we have several things that have worked really well, childproofing wise.
So those things like that, like what we do, about our reselling thing, it will probably show up on our eBay store.
Yes,
so
probably.
If you're interested in those.
We did that a lot with the house remodel. We bought a lot of things that we probably should have held off on because we didn't know. We just made some. We were trying to get ahead, and that was not the best move to make. Right. A lot of things that we bought ahead we did use because we got the doorknobs. We got all of that. And that worked out really well. And I love my doorknobs. They're beautiful.
Yeah. We're just trying to beat price hikes.
Yes. But it bit us a few times.
Yeah.
So, what are we doing this month? I know something I'm going to be doing this month to save us money.
Well, food preservation for you.
Well, not just that.
What's yours then?
So I have to start making homemade deodorant. We've actually started to run through most of that, so we'll be making some homemade deodorant this month. I'm trying that out and using it because we've used all the products that we have in the house for the most part.
I think I still got a couple more.
Do you?
I think so.
Oh.
But
well, maybe not then.
Well, you might need some. It might be next month before I need mine, type of thing. But we're not going to buy anymore.
We're not buying it anymore.
But getting solar set up, like I said before, is like...
And this is not... So, there's a story behind the solar. I wish solar companies would tell you need certain things and maybe include it with the cords.
It was...
The tool. He had to have the tool. He's like, everybody keeps saying the tool. What tool do I need?
Right.
And I'm like, he's so frustrated.
He is so frustrated.
He is so frustrated. I'm like, he said, well, I added this thing. Go look at it. And I'm starting to look it up. I'm like, well, this is a common problem. Nobody tells you need this, but you got to have it. Like, it's made specifically not to be able to do this without this tool.
Right. So that was, I put an extra connector on one. I was just going out through there, clip, 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 clip.
Didn't think about it.
Putting them out through there together, and then at the end I put an extra one on, and then we had it too short of a cord to get from where we ended up putting them at to where
we weren't
there.
Counting the height, so we went up. We went up. In one place, it was over 12 feet.
Right.
And the other place is like just under 8 feet to make sure we have clearance to walk underneath these cords. Yeah. And it's going to work out really well, and it's going to do very well.
We expected to be done with it, so a few snags there. But, energy consumption wise, that's one of the main focuses in October. We shouldn't be, we might be to the point where we're cutting off more ceiling fans even here.
Or turning them down to low.
Right. Down a notch or two, because in October, we shouldn't have any extremely hot day. If we do, it's going to be one here or there that's
manageable.
Right. We're not going to have to worry from energy consumption perspective.
We're not going to have 90-degree day on top of 90-degree day. We could probably...
we hope we don't.
We hope we don't. We could actually, if it starts to cool down enough, pull the window air conditioning unit out and get that put up for storage. Yep. Because we won't need it at that point. So it's really just... making sure we're doing what we need to as we go through every single day. And it has been so manageable. Nobody's gotten really hot. Nobody's been super uncomfortable. There have been a few times it might have gotten hot, mostly when I'm canning, but I've tried to push as much of that to the fall and late at night as I could.
Yeah.
And I think that's helped a lot. So beyond solar, anything else we're going to be focusing on in particular? I think I'll be focusing on the grocery budget pretty hard. Making sure that we're really focusing on that. I know October's going to be a very hard month for us. We've got a lot of things happening. There's going to be a couple weeks where we are slammed is not quite the right word for it.
Yes. And I will say too, from a budget perspective, as I look over here at the budget in October, I do see probably couple categories being, a little more, but still within our budget.
I've already done Aaron's birthday shopping. I'll bake his cake.
We have the little one's birthday, though.
We do have her birthday.
And there's another Prime Day, Prime sale, so it's whether we're buying Christmas gifts then, if we're waiting to November, we'll be looking at some of those things.
We'll probably kind of look at what they have. Well, kind of like what we do is we'll try to look at what they have and see if it fits the person. I don't go like, okay, I got to find something for this person that's on sale. I look at what is on sale
and see if it fits that person.
See if it fits that person. I did that for my parents. Yeah, Mom. But it was a really great deal for them, and it was something they loved. And I knew they would, and they did. It was just a great gift for them. That was a couple of years ago. And we can get things that are really expensive on sale. We got a lot of our old cartoons this way that, Isabel's going to enjoy in years to come. That are, the old school cartoons that Aaron and I grew up with, not...
Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Exactly. Like things like that we catch, really good prices on versus, some of them out there that are $74 for a season. Like legit. Oh. Although she loves it, that's her, that's all you're getting. But yeah, we do have a few things that are coming up. October's a hard month for us budget-wise, and this year it's a hard month for us just in general with a lot of things happening.
Yeah, it's going to be one. We're probably not going to have time to do much on a weekend perspective, so we'll keep the budget in below because of that, but we're going to be dead tired.
We're going to be exhausted, but we got a lot to do, a lot to get through, and goal is to power through it. Now, I will say, processing-wise, it'll probably increase our consumption. I will have to have the oven on quite a bit here in the next couple of weeks. That's not really...
But we won't be running the AC, so we should still be below.
Yes, we'll be below. So we have to run the oven. I'm probably going to pull out the roaster and use that to see if I can use that to bake some of these potatoes as well, so I can get as much going at once as possible. Like trying to figure out how can I use what I got to get through as far. I would use my Instant Pot, but the Instant Pot cooks it all the way through, and I don't want it cooked all the way through. I just need it par done, not like 3 minutes and it's cooked. Although if you're doing like buttered potatoes or anything like that, the Instant Pot is the only way to go. It works really well. I've been so happy with using the Instant Pot for stuff like that. Yeah. So, anything to add?
No, just, as the way things are right now, always keep frugality in mind, as a way to hopefully, help out.
Just make sure you're aware of your spending. That's the most important thing. Be aware of what you're spending, why you're spending it. Don't just swipe the credit card. We do play the credit card game, but we know every dollar that we're spending, where it's going, how we're spending it. So that mindfulness is so important.
Yeah, definitely. If you've got any questions, comments, anything you want to hear in future episodes, send it to thecannycouple@yahoo.com. And make sure to go over and check out our link tree, which has the links to all of our other social media sites. And I did notice, I think I was missing one or two, so I should hopefully have that updated in a few days. And, this week's video that we had out there was talking about frugality as well. So make sure to go over and check out the video on YouTube.
And as always, thank you for joining us on Rural Reliance with the Canny Couple, where we work hard, live simple, and enjoy life. Have a wonderful day.